Okay, can I, before I start properly, I kind of just realised that the title's a bit confusing because responsive can mean several different things in the education context. So if you're here thinking that what I mean by responsive is kind of how students feed back on courses and things like that, like respond to things in that way, then this is not the right session for you, and you should get up and go straight away. Because what I'm talking about is responsive design and the way things look. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, all right? Okay, so Bonas MacFarlane, who I work for, deliver courses for sixth form and university students via Canvas. And these courses that I'm going to be talking about are delivered 100% online. So we really care about the user experience. And today I'm going to be talking about how our students use Canvas on mobile devices. And I'm going to share some of the modifications we've made to improve the mobile experience. Okay, so I'm going to be talking a bit about our context, so our students and their needs, which is quite unusual. Because unlike most of you, I'm not from a school or a university. So I'll tell you a bit about our students and why they're using online learning. Great. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about responsive design, what it is and why we needed to implement it. And then I'm going to talk about how we did it. And I'm going to discuss the impact that then had on student satisfaction and on our workflows. And then I've set up a public Canvas course with detailed documentation about what to do and how to go forward. So don't worry about trying to record all the steps of what I'm going to tell you, all right? Because it's going to get a little bit techy at 1 or 2 points. We're very, very interested in mobile devices and education. And so I'm going to try and make sure at the end we've got plenty of time for questions and discussions and moans and all that sort of thing. Every time I get anywhere near someone from Canvas, I bend their ear about it. Okay, so about Bonas MacFarlane. So the company I work for was founded 25 years ago. Initially as a very small, very upmarket London tutoring agency. I think the first people we tutored were the royal family. We now work with 1,200 tutors all over the world, as well as consultants and mentors. And we help students and families from all over the place. Most of this work has involved an awful lot of air miles traditionally. Families fly into London for consultations with us, and we send tutors all over the world to work with students. And it's a very expensive service in its sort of classic version. We've also found, however, that people are seeing online learning as a genuine alternative to travelling. And we started doing a certain amount in Skype, but it was clear that that was quite limited. So 2 years ago, I began a research project to explore how we could properly take our services online, and this is how we met Canvas. Actually, what I did was I started off by going to see Moodle and Blackboard, and what I made them do was I made them show me their things on mobile devices. So I made Blackboard have a student submit some work, and it failed. I mean, this literally you couldn't do it. And the Canvas was the only VLE that I went to see that actually worked on a mobile device. So although I'm going to moan about Canvas, it's miles ahead of the others. All right, there's no question about that. Now, we made a short video for our clients to explain what we're doing online. I'm afraid it is a bit marketing. I'm sorry about that. But it does explain quite succinctly what we're trying to achieve. Over the last 4 or 5 years, more and more students are asking for online tuition. And the main reason they're doing that is to access our tutors from wherever they are in the world. So we've had a project for the last 2 years where we started by investigating what the very best tools were that were available. And what we thought we wanted was a full virtual learning environment and the ability to offer live teaching. We're doing a lot of research with students, and the thing that they're telling me is that they absolutely love the platform. And what they like most about it is the flexibility, and that you can use it on their mobiles. So you can be based in Hong Kong and having a lesson from a tutor in Oxford. But there are other benefits that are quite surprising and perhaps you wouldn't expect. I mean, the biggest one, I think, is it improves concentration. And the thing is that you're both looking at the same material at the same time. And it's like reading a book together or looking at a whiteboard together. And that shared space, which you both contemplate, proves to be a remarkably effective way to drown out sort of distractions.
Using the online whiteboard meant that I didn't have to carry around bits of scribbly notes. Everything was quite neatly typed up and ready to file away as notes. And using recordings of our tutorials to look back on and using that as revision, and listening for things that I may not have picked up on the first time. That is something quite exclusive to online tuition. I actually now even attend lectures online.
What we're establishing here really will be the future of tuition.
So we first met Canvas in spring 2016, and with them we put together a core platform, which, as you can probably guess if you kind of unpick what's going on in that video, is Webex with Canvas. We're using a Circ Live bridge between the two, which works okay. Plus various other bits and bobs of things. Panopto when we're doing live things, and we use lots of Google integration and stuff like that. And then we've set up a research project, which we're calling the University Preparation Programme, which is for WP students, with kids whose parents haven't gone to university. And it's a free programme, and in return for contributing to our research, they get lectures, classes, workshops, reading courses, all delivered online. So we've been teaching that group of students for about 9 to 11 months. Alongside those course scholars, we have paying UK and international students on those course programs. So our initial group of scholars came from 4 schools. This coming year, we're going to expand that into more schools. If anyone wants to have kids taking part, they can come and talk to me about it. The scholars have to be parents who are first generation at university. So their parents didn't go to university, free school meals, pupil premium, and they want to study somewhere complicated, like Oxbridge or LSE or something. The return for being part of the research program is that they get to have to be studied by me. And what I do at the beginning is talk to them all in quite a lot of detail about their online learning currently, what they've used before, what they haven't used, what they like, what they don't like. So almost all the students used video. In fact, that was being pushed quite a lot earlier today, wasn't it? Students love video. Our students, who are all quite academic, like BBC Bitesize, Khan Academy, YouTube, and they like short videos that they use as warm-ups before they start going back through their revision notes and things. That was their top preferred choice. A few of them had done longer courses. One had done a MOOC, but none of them who'd started these longer courses had actually managed to complete a course. And actually, we know that all the research about MOOCs says this. I mean, only people who've done multiple MAs finish MOOCs. And then live online classes, which is the thing that we wanted them to be doing, none of them had done before. So we knew that we've got quite a big challenge here. We've got students who really only see online as like short, bite-sized bits of learning, that they didn't finish courses, and that none of them had done online classes. That's quite a big challenge. So we wanted our courses to look great. Canvas definitely helps. We were really, really pleased when they introduced coloured photo tiles in autumn 2016, because actually we'd been mocking something up beforehand with photo tiles, because we thought that was the easiest way for students to understand what they were getting. Unfortunately, in the current version of the mobile app, these don't work, but I'm sure it's coming. I've been told it's coming. So that's good. This is a typical student dashboard. So what they've got here is they've got a tutor who they have regular one-to-one meetings with. Those happen in Webex. They jump through from this into Webex. This student's doing a reading course, so they're getting every week they're getting a reading or a lecture or a podcast to do with economics, put together by an academic. They're doing extension lectures, which they might be going to live and then doing follow-up seminars in Webex, or they might be watching them in Panopto. That student's doing a critical thinking course, and then they're learning about the system and about the academy, which is what we call it here. So it's quite simple. And one of the things I really like is that we've got this very simple kind of structure. So, why do we need to muck about with responsive? Well, we started teaching in January 2017, and in March I started researching student satisfaction, and running focus groups with them about how they were using the program. What we discovered, which is really great, is that 80% were logging in once a day, which I think is really good for this is a supplementary activity. This is not their main school thing. And that mobile phones were by far the preferred device for Canvas content. I mean, not by a bit, almost completely, they like mobile phones as their way of accessing Canvas. And they were doing the reading assignments, completing tasks at lunchtime, in the dining room, on the bus, in the car. That spare bits of time were where they used our courses. The only places where they go to laptops and desktops are when they go into Webex, and there's a whole thing about how you can bridge between apps on iOS and Android, which means it's really clunky and really terrible. So but I'm not going to talk about that today particularly, unless someone wants to. So 100% agreed, or strongly agreed, that they're able to access the online resources and complete assignments. That's really good, I think, and Canvas can think they're doing pretty well with that. But only 23% strongly agreed. Now, we want things to be, really good, not a bit good. So I think 100% agreement is good, but 23% strongly agree is not really good enough. So I went back and started looking at the courses that our tutors were putting together. And this is what they looked like. So what happened was we got some some good technicians and some very able tutors, and they were putting together course pages that look a bit like the one on the right, with a big image across the top, and then using tables to drop content around. That was kind of like how they were putting together. The ones who were adventurous with their content were doing things like that. Others were just doing a thing that looked like a page of A4. Yeah. Now I think everyone's seen those. I mean, that's kind of, but the big picture across the top is what Canva show you when they want to make it. Yeah, it can look really good. Yeah, that's kind of how they do it. Now, the problem was that when you looked at it on a mobile phone in the app, that's what it looked like. Unusable. I mean, look at that. Who can read that? That's that bit of text there. Now that's crap. I mean, just beyond crap. And that was what it looked like for our students. That's why they weren't saying that this was really good, because they were using it on a phone and it looked like that. Now, I'm a web designer. I've been a web designer for 25 years. That was not acceptable. Now, we've culled all layouts to look like that now. And so I had to recreate that one for you. And this is the course that we've made for you online. And if you click non-responsive version, you can have a look at it in the app, and you can have a look at it online on a desktop, and you can see what it does. But probably, if you're honest, if you go into some of your courses, you find you don't need to look at our dummy version to get this experience. Yeah? I don't think I'm alone with this problem. So my first thought was, okay, what can we do about this? I rang up Canvas and said, look, this is 2017. How do we make these pages responsive? You can't. Yep, because there is no responsive code in Canvas. Now, that's how it was. But you can. And I'm going to tell you how. Yep. Now, also, this works. But you do this at your own risk, all right? It's totally fine. It's totally what Canvas let you do, but I'm not. This is your problem, not mine, if it doesn't work. All right. So, okay. So, for those of you who don't know about, first of all, who here knows what responsive design is? Okay, most of the room. Anyone who doesn't? Okay, some people. Okay, so basically, about 7 or 8 years ago, people started working out, it was when certain web technologies came in, they started working out that you could make content resize itself for different devices. I mean, the problem that all web designers face is that half the people are looking at a web on a device about that size, then you've got these 27-inch screens, 30-inch screens, and the same content has to look great on both. And in some classic old school websites, you'd have masses of white space around the sides of a web page on a big screen, or it will be squished up on a small screen. And when Apple launched the iPhone, they showed a non-responsive version of the New York Times webpage, as how they introduced it, and Steve Jobs was kind of pinching to zoom to read the stuff on the page. That was kind of the initial idea about how you would navigate a big web page. Well, that got overturned, and so what people now do is use responsive design, and it all kind of moves around depending on the device. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different responsive frameworks you can use. I mean, the most famous one is called Bootstrap, and actually, probably, I mean, what I'm going to show you now would probably work with Bootstrap, but I suspect that Canvas at some point will incorporate Bootstrap, and so I decided not to, because I thought, well, when they do, my version, my older version will probably, it will clash with it. So I went with Zurb, which is another really famous CSS framework. They say it's the most advanced responsive front-end framework in the world. Bit more bullshit for you. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And it's very good. Yep. I mean, really good. I mean, it's well established. It's open source. It's developed by highly regarded web developers. It's well documented. It's got a lively community supporting it. That's kind of what you need, okay, if you're going to develop stuff. But what I'm going to show you now could work with Bootstrap. So what you do is you download the code, some JavaScript and some CSS, and then you go into Canvas, and then in your template area, you can upload your CSS and upload your JavaScript, do it for the mobile apps as well, and bang, you've made Canvas responsive. This is that simple. Okay. Yep. Now I've put that code on the site, so you can download it if you want to. Or I've also put the links so you can go back and get the latest version of it. I mean, my version's a bit old, and I'm not endlessly upgrading it. It's not. CSS code doesn't have much that's likely to be a security risk, so it's not going to do you any harm to work with an older version. Once you've done that, the next thing then is to make some templates. Interestingly, does anyone subscribe to the templates that you can buy in Canvas? 15 grand a year they cost. You know that? And they have a bad take-up in the UK. But apparently American universities buy them. Anyway, I think they should come up with some free ones. But at the moment, we've come up with some basic templates. So we have like pages that look like this, that are kind of blanks, into which we can then drop courses, and we can take bits out. Yeah, and we just wrote those. Basically, once you put this code into Canvas, you can use. There's some really good visual editing tools you can get for Zurb, where you can decide, okay, I want a big picture here, I want 3 across here, and then that all those are going to move around correctly. So that those 2 columns will become 1 column. That will become 1 column with a picture above. These 3 will become 2 and then 1. That's what responsive does. Yeah. So all of those templates are in the cookbook, and if you want to use them, just feel free. And I've made it a course with discussion areas, so you can join the course. If you start writing templates, please post them there and let's share them and make it a bit communal. Yeah. Because I mean, they don't take much time to do, but someone might have some really cool ideas about ways to make nice ones. And that's what our courses now do. Yeah, so that's the same template. That's that one. It's about halfway down the page there, doing its thing. And there's nothing miraculous about that. That's kind of normal modern web design. That's how it should work. And that's how it now works for us. However, I'm going to give you a few words of caution before you jump down this way of doing things. All right? We are online only for this particular project, and it really matters to us. So we have a technical support team, not very big, a couple of people, but that team does the job of making the pages that we really care about. If you're expecting teachers to do it, this way of doing it won't work at the moment, I think, and we limit the pages that we really try and make super duper responsive to the course home pages or events or things that really are central to the student experience online. We don't make every single lesson be a super responsive template, because that's a bit complicated. I mean, way beyond our tutors. And my technicians would just go nuts if they had to do every single page that ever got put up. But we think for the course home pages, it really matters. Right? That's, for our students, that's their way in. There's nothing else. There's no building to come to. And that's how they know what's going on. And it's got to look great on their phone. So it's usually about 1 or 2 pages per course, except for we've got the extension lectures. We do it for each lecture because we really want to sell those to students. For these ones, what we do is we've made templates. That's a PDF template that we send out to tutors, showing them what other people's course pages look like, and then the tutors supply the right size pictures, the right content to be laid out in this way. But we help them a bit. I mean, they're often rubbish with pictures. That's a really classic problem. You know, the pictures are way too small, or they haven't got the rights to use them, or something like that. So often we have to help them with the pictures. But if they've written the text in the right way, then that really helps. If they give us a video, things like that. So that seems like a lot of work, but actually it's not too bad. We're much happier now with what our courses look like. So that's an economics course. There you've got the kind of wide view, and then on the right you've got the mobile view. And you can see, you know, this bit here, they're dropping under each other the way they should. So same with that one. You can also ask content to hide if you don't want to show on a mobile. Now, we've got very simple templates. We only use 2. We haven't spent too long on it. And it's reusable code. So basically, from our base templates, we can build all the courses we want to build at the moment. However, we do recognize that this is a halfway house. Personally, I mean, does anyone here use MailChimp Campaign Monitor? Yeah, if you ever have, like, they have really brilliant responsive templates built into the apps, so that there you just, you know, instead of having to code it, it's just all built in, and you just grab a block. If you go back to that, you just grab a block that looks like that, stick it on the page. You grab a block that looks like that, and a block that looks like that, and then start typing in your content. Now, that to me is what I think Canvas ought to do. I can't make them do it, but I mean that would be the really friendly solution. Yeah. The other issues that we've got at the moment are with the mobile app. I really hate the mobile app, I'm afraid. And actually on a tablet, we tell people to use Safari or and to ignore the app because it looks better, works better. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, now this is, you know, I mean, I can't believe that my students are the only students who prefer using a mobile. That seems to be incredible. So it seems to me that please agitate to make mobile top of their priority, like not the bottom like it is at the moment. They told me I've just had a conversation with someone where they said they're taking resources off mobile to do something else. Since we've put responsive in, our student satisfaction has got much better, measurably so. I can't give you final figures yet, but it's just in a different league, which is kind of obvious because mobile is how they're using it. And we've had, with the students who started the course, we've had 100% retention through 9 to 11 months, which is pretty good, I think. The next thing we plan to do is to build a bridge with Webex. I mean, we're using Circ Live at the moment, and it's terrible. So we're going to build our own. But we've put on that. That's the address. If you go there, you can click on that button and go to a Canvas course and register. And please do discuss it, and we can continue the conversation that we have now. I think, well, it'd be interesting to see whether I'm being too provocative and whether other people say, no, this is, you're absurd, this is absurdly wrong, Canvas is much better on the mobile than you're saying. But I think, from the conversations I'm having with people, I think this is a real issue, and I think the more we share stuff about it and how to work our way around it, the better it'll be. So that's where I've got to. We've got 5 or 10 minutes. 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 5 minutes. So does anyone have any questions or thoughts, or have I completely oversold the problem?
How easy is that all? Because I understand code, but
Yeah.
I am not that technical, and the problems you've brought up, I tell my students in a mainstream normal college the exact same thing to avoid like the playing of the app if they're using anything bigger than a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So is this like, for a relative idiot, easy to implement?
If you're comfortable enough, if you follow the instructions to get it in are dead easy, yeah. If you can look at a bit of HTML and go, okay, that bit of text there, okay, I've just got to paste it in there, then you're fine. Yeah, we've done all the work of making the grids and things. So all you have to do is and you can just chop bits out. But you'll have to, I'd play around.
But yeah, I'm good at breaking and that side of things. It's just the rebuilding it afterwards.
Well, then you just put another copy in here. It's like,
Do you think it would be an easy task to make an LTI that you get an extra row with buttons, so you don't need to go into the HTML, and you will have, for instance, a jump jumbotron or what?
Yeah, I'd love that. I mean, that would be. Okay, so the way that we built that's if you're building the templates particularly. But to be honest, Zurb, there is a really good visual editor of Zurb that you can just, if you Google visual editor of Zurb, there's a very good one for Bootstrap as well. Bootstrap. Well, one I use is called Pingendo, but there are loads of them. But there's a really good Zurb one that's the same. And you just literally move the blocks around. If you've ever used the editor in Campaign Monitor, and you can build all the content in that if you want to. But obviously putting it into Canvas lets you do things like bring the pictures in from files and so on. You know, the way Canvas does links to images and stuff, it kind of helps if you do some of it in Canvas. But yeah, I mean, it would be fantastic. I think they should have a whole templating, you know, like down the right-hand side. You should be able to pull in things, do things. But that needs us to tell them that we want it, doesn't it? Great, thank you.